What is happening, everybody? This is Jesse Lee and your Klaviyo email marketing tutorial, part 4A. And in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about the welcome flow and how to create it. All right. Now, again, keep in mind this is multiple parts. This is a 6-part series, and each of these video parts has like multiple little sub videos that give you tips and tricks on how to best use email and Klaviyo and all your e-commerce stuff. So, if you haven't watched those, please go check out the whole guide below. This video is probably not going to make sense unless you watch those, so go and do that. All right, now if you have watched those, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so again, welcome flow. All right, let's talk about the welcome flow. Well, why are we setting up the welcome flow before we set up a sign-up form? Well, it's pretty easy. The reason is we want to have the welcome flow active and live before somebody signs up. So as soon as you create your sign-up form, you can hit the publish button and your welcome flow will be ready. Now, if you want to create your sign-up form, that's fine. You can go do that. You can go do that in your, just in the sign-up forms area. And I'll show you how to segment this a little bit later if you want to segment different flows for different people. But what is a flow, though? Let's jump into the flows. What's a flow? Flow is basically just an automation, right? Anytime somebody does a specific action, you can send a trigger to activate one of these flows, and they could be a 1 email thing or they could be a 10 email thing. All right, so let's go ahead, and here's how you do this. You just hit this create flow button. Now I want you all to know Klaviyo has some amazing flows in their flow library already, so you could start from scratch if you really want to, but the easy button is just to search welcome flow and you'll see these welcome series pop up. All right, now couple things I want to mention here. You'll notice these different little triggers: list, Shopify. This one here, as you can see, it's for a Shopify integration. So if you have your Shopify store set up, it would actually integrate with all this, right? You see another one here that's Shopify. These other ones that are just list, those are all specific to well, not specific to, but if you're not using a Shopify, just pick those. Now, if you're using BigCommerce, WooCommerce, any of those other, I talked about the integrations in the first one, those would appear here, but I don't have them because I'm not integrating with them, all right? So that's why they're not here. But you could also search by BigCommerce, WooCommerce, PrestaShop, Magento 1, and Magento 2. So that being the case, what I'm going to do is, if you have email and SMS, I would suggest you use this welcome series, and there's a reason for that. But right now, I'm just going to pick this welcome series, customer versus non-customer. So people who have purchased from me versus people who haven't. And I'm going to call this welcome series demo 2 because I just created a demo 1 that y'all didn't see, but I messed it up. So I had to, redo this video. So when you get in here, notice a couple things. You can add tags if you want. You can create a new tag. These are for your organizational purposes. They don't have anything to do with your subscribers. This is just how you search for stuff in Klaviyo. I did a whole video just on tags, so go check that out if you want. The trigger, this is really important. If you don't set this up with the right trigger, you won't be able to come back and redo this. So you have to pick the right trigger. And for my trigger, I want it added to everyone who's joining my main list. Remember how I told you, you only really want one list. And the one list that I created, all these other ones are segments. Some of them are lists, but a lot of them are segments. But the one I'm using for everything is this one I call master list. It's very important that you keep everything together in one place, all right? Because you can build segments off that. You don't need to create multiple lists, all right? So we'll go ahead and create flow. And boom, this has your welcome series already set up. And it's got even some nice little copywriting in there. I'm trying to zoom back. Oh, okay. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I just went over to my, all right. Sorry. That's my e-commerce store, by the way. My computer seems like it's slowing down a little bit. It's not letting me, it's going a little slow. Okay, that's fine. We will just move right along. So notice here, oh, there it goes. There's the sizing issue. The trigger is master list. This is when somebody gets added to my master list. So when we create our sign-up form, we're going to put people on this master list. Now, there's some automations in here. We'll talk about conditional splits in the future, but just know this is sifting out people who are customers versus non-customers in case I want to speak to them differently. And here's the filter we use for that. What someone has or has not done. We now say anybody who's placed an order at least once over all time, right? And I just have 2 emails in here. You could get away with putting more in here. This all depends on your business. So what I would do personally is I like emailing people. So I might put this one down at like 2 days, right? Just to get a little. And then what I would do is I would add another time delay. And I would say we'll do another 2 days. And then we'll do another email. Right? So we got the first email going out right when they sign up. The next one, as soon as they get added to the list, right? And then the next one gets sent out 2 days later. And then a third one gets sent out 2 days after that. So you can keep this going forever. I don't recommend keeping it going forever because Klaviyo's segmentation is so robust. I mean, you create tons of these flows over time that all trigger it when different things happen. So it's not worth creating like a 30-day autoresponder. This is something that info marketers used to do where they just email every single day forever. E-commerce is different. You don't need to do that. And quite frankly, people like you better when you don't. If they haven't purchased off these first couple emails, don't worry about it. They'll come back to your site and get re-engaged in the future, and you can trigger more flows, right? So that's how you create your welcome flow. And if you want to incorporate SMS, you can drag SMS in there too. If you have SMS on your sign-up form, I've got a whole SMS playlist, by the way. So that's basically it for your welcome series. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is how to filter this if you are doing a welcome series that comes from a specific form, right? Now, a lot of people, what they'll do because they don't know any better, is they'll create a form. Let me go and show you my forms. Let's say I have a form. Let me just come in here. And I'm going to clone one of these. And let's say it's Black Friday weekend. And it's a special Black Friday form, even though it says birthday on it. Black Friday opt-in. And let's say I'm offering a special coupon just for Black Friday. Right? Black Friday opt-in. So here's that form. A lot of people would, and I'll go ahead and, actually, since this one's already published, I'm just going to edit this. Oh, whoops. Let me go back. I'm going to edit the name of this. Edit name. We're going to call this Black Friday Form 2. And this is different than my Let's Be Friends form. Well, what if I'm offering a special deal on Black Friday? Well, shouldn't I create a list that's devoted to all my Black Friday users? No, you shouldn't. Because like I said, you should only ever have one list because you could do all your segmentation off of segments. So here's how you would do that. If you have multiple different forums, let's say I have this one running all the time, and then I have this one on Black Friday, right? So let's say this one is general welcome series, like the general welcome flow, right? We'll do welcome series demo 2, and I want to connect the Let's Be Friends form to welcome series 2. Welcome series demo 2, right? How I would do that is I would come into trigger, go to flow filters, and I would add a flow filter that's designed around the acquisition method. So how do I do that? Well, you select the condition here, and then you go to properties about someone. All right, properties are different than actions. You could segment by what they have or have not done. But I'm going to search properties, and I'm going to search the consent form ID. So Klaviyo has this nice little property. They have all these different consent methods and forms, by the way. This one called consent form ID, this will measure who came in from either of these forms, right? So if I want to see which form it pulls, let me just come into this form that says Let's Be Friends. As you can see in here, you'll notice up top how it has this little 6-digit ID. All Klaviyo properties have this, whether it's a flow, a form, a campaign. It's either 6 digits or 26 digits. So just know that it might be longer than this, but it's going to at least be 6. So come here, copy this. You'll notice when I go to, if I want to, every time someone comes through this form, I want this specific thing to come through. We're going to come here and notice, I don't even have to paste it. Look, it automatically pulls in SYWQHD, right? So that's my regular one. And then let's say I create a special flow for Black Friday, right? So we're going to create a Black Friday standard Black Friday flow. So let's just go ahead and just pick another welcome series. Welcome. And we'll do it based off of list triggered, customer versus non-customers. And we're going to say this is a Black Friday specific welcome series. And again, we're going to use that master list because we want to put everyone in the same spot. We're going to hit create flow. And then what's going to happen here? It's going to come in here. Now we have the same options here. The other, okay, remember this other one. Let me back up a little bit. We used the Let's Be Friends pop-up to trigger our regular flow. Well, now we want to use the Black Friday form to trigger. By the way, when you create this, I didn't do this right. Let me come into the Black Friday flow. You see how it says list is newsletter? We want to choose the right trigger. So we'll go over this in a future video because we're creating the sign-up form later. But you'll see the sign-up button has this newsletter thing. Don't worry about all this. I'm going to rip through this. This is where you want that. You want that thing, this button pointing people to your master list. So that's where you'd submit list. So if I refresh this, again, don't worry about that form stuff. We'll talk about that in a future video. But notice now it's putting people on my master list. All right. So let's go back, and in the trigger, we want to trigger this Black Friday welcome series for this Black Friday form. So we just come into flow filters, add flow filter, properties about someone, dimension, consent form ID. Love that consent form ID. Equals, what's the, let's see, I think this is the one that started with W. Yeah, okay, so if you notice here, WWDZ2A, right? So we want to pick, okay, it's, well, it didn't autofill. So it didn't autofill. Maybe it could be because it's not published or something. Probably need to refresh the page, but if it doesn't autofill, you can just come in and paste it. So that's what we're going to do now. Boom. All right. So now you can see this Black Friday welcome series is going to trigger when anybody gets added to the master list, which I've sent people from this form to my master list. And then once they're on the master list, I don't want to trigger it from everyone. I just want to trigger from this specific form. So that's how you do that. And then you could add more emails there. So I know this is a bit of a longer video, but I wanted to show you that because it's very important how you are segmenting depending on where you're bringing people from. You know, that consent form ID method is going to be great if you're collecting subscribers at checkout, for instance. So yeah. So with that, I hope this was helpful for you, and I will talk to you all. Oh, wait. Actually, before we move on, I want to mention, if you have any questions, we have more videos I need to get to, right? This isn't the last of this, so let me get to the other videos. But if you have any questions on this, please comment below, and I will probably make a video on it. So if you haven't seen the other videos in this, please click here for the playlist up top right-hand corner. Or if you want to just go right to the next video, click in this lower right-hand corner, and that will lead you to the next video in the series. All right? So hope everyone's having an awesome time. I'll see you all in the next video. It's going to be great.